What hobby in men gives you green flag vibes? Story 1. Gardening and caring for pets or small animals. Reply. Weird reptile guy who has a weed grow operation in his fridge, alright. Reply 2. My husband just brought a MHC, which I've been told stands for Madagascar hissing cockroach but I believe actually means motherfucking holy shit cockroach, into the house. Long story, but he had always wanted one and the thing basically popped out of someone's laptop into his arms. I was not happy at first, but after seeing how he cares for even the most disgusting animal you can imagine, it just confirms that the man is all love and kindness. So we named her Cookie and I will admit I'm starting to feel some affection for her. Story 2. My husband's hobby is making firewood. The entire process is his jam. Cutting down deadfall. Bucking it up. Carting it home. Splitting it. Stacking it. Showing off immense wood piles to anyone who will listen. Burning it. It's cheap and actually saves us like $1 per month on heating. Reply. I know this one is 100% real because you roasted the shit out of him while also genuinely appreciating it. OP reply. It's a pain in the dick BC when I want to get a hold of him, he can't hear his phone, chainsaw, quad, log splitter too loud, or so he says. But then here I'm enjoying the wood stove heat, so it's fine. Reply 2. Plus think of all you can do with that extra dollar you have every month. Story 3. I knew someone in college whose hobby was restoring old books, like classics he found in a Goodwill or that had been handed down and were well loved. He would repair the glue, trim down the weathered edges of the pages, etc. My mind was blown, and to this day I wish I had talked to him more about it. Edit. Apparently this is the red flag of a murderer and I'm out of the loop almost, so guess you'll see me in the news after being abducted by a stalker who likes books. Reply. Was his name Joe? Story 4. Any hobby that a man isn't ashamed to do because it isn't manly. For example, my husband is a very burly work with his hands manly man but every night sits down and makes quilts with me. He even has made a few of his own. Reply. I do cross-stitch. I'm a dude. When I worked in a service industry, I'd sometimes do it on my breaks. The other guys would give me shit. The women were much friendlier. Reply 2. Your men colleagues, he's not manly. Your women colleagues, he's secure enough in his masculinity that he doesn't need to perform machismo, he's a good one. Reply 3. Reminds me of my college boyfriend. He would knit a ton. He was so good at it. At 18, I found it strange. At 39, it makes me melt. He's definitely the one who got away. Story 5. My girlfriend says it's a green flag that I support mediocre sport teams and have fun watching them even when they lose, which is pretty often. Reply. My GF once complimented how I can be patient with her. I replied, I've been putting up with Leeds' shit for 15 years, yours is easy in comparison. She didn't find it as funny as I did. Reply 2. Mine said the same until the Lions turned good and now I'm insufferable. Story 6. Having plants that are actually well cared for. Reply. I dated a man who had an entire tree in his home. In a pot. He'd had it for decades. It was named Tree and he loved it. I would talk to it and gently touch it while he made his breakfast. I figured if tree was important to him, I would form a relationship with it. It was a good tree. Reply 2. Nothing speaks to my male soul quite so much as meticulously caring for something for decades and naming it Tree. We are shockingly simple creatures by nature. Reply 3. My husband had 2 well-tended plants in his small place when we met. I thought, oh shit, he can keep one alive, something that is beyond me. I ended up murdering one plant by falling on it and breaking it in half, was a tree kind of thing, and once we got married we got a cat and the cat took down the other one. Every time he looks at getting a plant while we're out he looks over at me and goes, why am I even looking at this? Between you and the cat, that's just cruel to the plant. Story 7. 100% reading. Reply. A girl in high school saw me grabbing a book, Hannibal Rising, from my luggage. We were returning from a contest that took place in another city, and the first thing she asked was, are you gay? Reply 2. Fellas, is it gay to be literate? Story 8. Sorry man, I can't make it to the cool party tonight. I gotta take care of my small animals while I do jigsaws and paint my mini figurines after I finish volunteering at the local library. Sound of vaginas everywhere gushing in the background. At least according to this thread's answers. Reply. I gotta show you a diorama of the Shire I made that my cat and rabbit play with. It's in my van. Story 9. I've never met him in person, but if I ever met a man, friend, family, in-law, doesn't matter, and he has a basement room with the whole Lionel train set up in a faux city, I'd be all over it. Please let me watch, help, set up. Heck, I'll help dust and clean it. I would find it utterly enchanting. Reply. Stop trying to fuck my dad. Reply 2. Stacy's dad is actually pretty rad. He's all that I want, and I think he's a real Chad. Stacy, can't you see? You're just not the one for me. I know it might be bad, but I'm in love with Stacy's dad. Story 10. First time my boyfriend came over to my place, we'd only been going out with each other for a couple of weeks, the cat came sprinting down the hallway to investigate who this stupid new human invader was, and how very dare I not alert him to his presence. Cat skids to a halt, gets scooped up and was fussed over for a good half hour or so. That's a major green flag that they love animals. Not so much when they then bloody ignore you for 10 minutes every night when they get home from work to fuss over the feline overlord and tell them all about his day. Reply. I'm sorry, but I would also ignore you for your cat. Reply 2. You have to. It's the cat tax. If you don't pay, then some claws might somehow find their way to your jugulars. We tried naming it Pussy Tax, but we were given some weird looks for that name. Reply 3. The very first time my now husband, Ken, came over to my apartment, he and my cat bonded like they were soulmates. My cat has been a cranky old man since the day he was born. He hates new people in his home, and will generally spend the entire time rage hiding in the closet. He especially dislikes men, for unknown reasons, because I've had the little bastard since he was 4 weeks old and he's never been mistreated by a man. I walk in the door, followed by Ken. The cat appeared out of nowhere and instantly latched himself onto Ken like they were old college buddies who hadn't seen each other in years. We obviously had no choice but to begin a serious relationship and ultimately get married. My cat, who I raised since before he should have been separated from his mother, who I have loved and cared for 15 years, would push me into a wood chipper if he thought it would get him more snuggles from my husband. Story 11. My wife loves and hates my now for your cooking hobby. Reply. I feel like my love of cooking comes off as a green flag until they realize how deep it goes. Constantly wrecking the kitchen. Grocery shopping daily for fun. Stinking up the house with fried food. Accidentally waging chemical warfare with Carolina Reapers. I had a dream about you, babe. I had a dream about kimchi fried rice. I'm heading to the grocery store. Do you need anything? Story 12. I dated a woman for a few months who told me that a man owning a cat was a red flag for her. I had a cat that she knew about from day one. So I said, I guess I'm not man enough to carry your baggage or something to that effect. That was the last time I saw her. Me and my little orange buddy were happy to get rid of that psycho. Reply. Honestly, a comment like that owning a cat is a red flag, is itself a red flag. Story 13. Not a woman, nor a gay man, but I'd say most hobbies are green flags or no flags. Reply. A friend of mine really loves Microsoft Excel. He watched the Excel World Tournament, he wrote a rap about Excel and we spent some nights finding beats for it and practicing it. Anyway, women have told him that it's not that he likes Excel, it's that he's passionate in the first place, that they find sexy. Personally, I think it's because he's 6 feet 4 inches and full of muscle, but sure, it's because he's passionate too. Story 14. When they do volunteer work, I feel like it shows that they have a heart and care, which is rare to find in my age group. Reply. Does mandated community service count as volunteer work? Asking for a friend. The end. Subscribe for more and leave a comment. Thank you.